Neither can I. Can we hug this play actually?
You're the boss. Mamma mia, mangiare un chilo.
Classic animation, but I'm sure that it still resonates with children today.
With your loved one.
Exactly at the scene in The Lady and the Tramp film at Tony's restaurant.
I feel like Lady and the Tramp kind of inspired many different Hollywood films to go with the same idea.
And there we go.
Hello movie lovers and welcome back to another episode of Film and Flavor. I'm Zain Hassan.
Hello everyone, I'm Ahmed Zayani.
Our film for today is a 1955 American classic romantic comedy animated and produced by Walt Disney Production called The Lady and the Tramp.
Wonderful. You know, Zain, I am a huge fan of Disney animation, and Lady and the Tramp is one of my favorite childhood movies. It's a classic animation, but I'm sure that it still resonates with children today. Now, who doesn't love watching those cute animals with large, kind eyes? Lady and the Tramp is about love and sacrifice, bringing together a posh female dog with a homeless stray. Also included are the memorable Siamese troublemaking cats, voiced by Peggy Lee, and the wonderful candlelit scene where the lovable heroes enjoy spaghetti and meatballs, which we'll be tasting today.
Yes. Are you a fan of spaghetti and meatballs?
Absolutely. I wasn't a fan growing up, but the older I got, for some reason, I started having a lot of kinship towards the dish. I was more of a fan of spaghetti and bolognese.
Which is similar.
Which is similar, but I think like a nice hearty meatball hits differently.
Yes, I think The Lady and the Tramp perfectly represented how it feels like to eat spaghetti and meatballs. I feel like it's better to eat it shared with someone.
You think so?
Yeah, it is.
I think I am too greedy to share it with someone.
Well, we can agree to
We
disagree.
can agree to disagree, especially if it's as well animated or well as presented in the film itself.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you, but there's something about watching food in a Disney movie that is just so appetizing.
It looks so appetizing and so magical, and for some reason the spaghetti just looks 10 times more appetizing. I don't know how to describe it to you.
It really is,
Yeah.
and it all comes back to the iconic candlelit scene, you know,
Yes.
at Tony's, where Lady and Tramp share that big bowl of spaghetti and meatballs. As the characters serenade them. This is the night, it's a wonderful night, right?
Yes, and I mean, it kind of shows you how it can just kind of take you into a whole other realm, because the Lady and the Tramp, they were so occupied and so overly into the dish itself that they completely lost track of where they were and that they were at a restaurant, they were sharing this with someone else. They completely forgot about that because from their reaction when they were sharing the same string of spaghetti and then they reacted the same way. They're, oh, we both forgot we were here, you know? It kind of describes how it feels like to actually eat spaghetti.
Absolutely, and it brings back the notion that food is love.
It is, yeah.
And they were able to realize this over a bowl of pasta and meat.
Yes, it brings together many people from many different parts of the world.
And that scene itself is so iconic that Disney themselves decided to immortalize it in the Magic Kingdom. Now, once you enter the Magic Kingdom, one of the first things that you see is Tony's restaurant, which is a replica of the restaurant you see in the movie. And on that menu, they do indeed serve spaghetti and meatballs.
Wow, that's cool. That's a really nice fact.
It really is cool, and I think it's something that you could share with a loved one, maybe even a friend or whatnot, and relive that moment from the movie.
Yes. Get completely lost in the realm of spaghetti and meatballs.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, speaking of that, I mean, there are a lot of these fun scenes in the movie. What would be a highlight for you?
Honestly, would I sound basic if I just said this scene? It's an iconic scene.
Not at all.
Yeah,
Not
it is an
at all.
iconic scene, honestly, and I really truly loved it. The music was beautiful. Their reaction was just so adorable, and just the kind of the moment of realization that this is the person you're supposed to spend the rest of your life with, because we kind of reacted the same way. It was really cute to see that represented through dogs, you know? You don't usually see that in films other than Disney films.
The night will weave its magic spell.
Oh, absolutely. And to me, what I loved is the progression of the relationship.
Yes.
That lady was presented as this upscale canine, while I mean, Tramp is, as the name lends to it, is a tramp.
Yeah.
But he was able to win her over, like first with like some mocking flirtations, but it just developed from there because they were able to see and resonate with each other.
Yeah, yeah.
But you know what? This is a film that I think with a lot of people they would call problematic today.
Why?
Mainly because the Siamese twins that I just mentioned.
The Siamese twins.
The two cats.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I think that some versions of the movie do omit this, but there is the We Are Siamese song.
That is problematic.
It is problematic
Why?
because it presents a very stereotypical Asian accent towards these cats.
Oh, okay.
So there are people that do find that to be a very narrow line to walk on. I mean, that's apropos for that time, I guess, because Disney did have those challenges with Song of the South and whatnot, and they're not exclusive to that because Warner Brothers had the same thing as well.
Yeah.
But I think we can always watch that in a non-obtrusive way and make our own judgment.
Yeah.
And as I stand, I do think that this is one of Walt's more underrated films.
Yeah, I totally feel like the animation style in that film is just incomparable. Like the way that its simplicity made it so much more authentic. And how I think the only thing you can compare The Lady and the Tramp with is 101 Dalmatians.
Close enough.
It had a really similar animation to The Lady and the Tramp, but The Lady and the Tramp had such a unique animation. It was 2D, but it was it felt very, very homey, very sweet.
Sure.
I think I've already expressed to you how much I love 2D animation, so you can tell why I really love this film.
I absolutely love 2D animation. I do think that the animation in Lady and the Tramp is more clean than it is in 101 Dalmatians.
Yes.
But I did like that visual that they had with
Very rough
101.
and messy.
Exactly. I did think that is very unique for Disney.
It is, yeah.
And it was one of those things that they were somehow able to carry on into the sequel, 102 Dalmatians.
Yeah, yeah.
Which I do think is a bit underrated as it is.
There were also a live action one.
There were 3 actually.
Yeah.
3.
So, yeah, I mean, just the whole point of The Lady and the Tramp is to just kind of show you or represent to you that even dogs are able to feel the love that people can have towards food and how it brings people together from all different walks of life, you know, whether you're a rat, whether you're a dog, whether you're an actual human being, food can bring pretty much anyone together.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Absolutely.
It's for you, darling. Merry Christmas.
Oh, Jim dear. It's the one I was admiring, isn't it? Trimmed with ribbons?
Well, it has a ribbon.
Oh, how sweet.
You like her, darling?
I grew up watching this film, and I consider it a wonderful film for both children and adults to watch. While many of Disney's recent films are aimed at children, this movie was made at a time where adults were primarily the target audience. Therefore, this movie lacked the kiddie humor and tells a story of genuine emotion and compassion. The love story between 2 non-human characters removes the bias that we automatically impose upon human characters, and I feel like very few films can live up to the quality of this one.
You know, the writers, actors, and animators, together with Disney magic, captured the unique and limitless variety of personalities that exist in the canine world. This film takes those wonderful canine characters and shows the world from their perspective. The adorable footage of Lady as a puppy reminds me of the behavior of my own hounds when they were pups. The beautiful Park Avenue setting, lady growing up and falls in love with happy-go-lucky vagabond Tramp, and a dog-hating aunt, a baby, some cats, some rats, and the adventure is complete. The songs sung from the dog pound together with those sung by the wicked Siamese cats are the most purely fun of any Disney animation.
In this famous scene, the Lady and the Tramp are seen sharing a plate of spaghetti and meatballs. I've noticed that the use of golden lighting and inviting tones creates a very nostalgic mood. The lighting also emphasizes the contrast in comparison, the Tony restaurant in comparison to the outside world, reinforcing the idea that the Lady and the Tramp are in a world entirely of their own, separate from the societal expectations and class divisions that have kept them apart.
Oh, he's not my dog.
Oh, he's not, eh?
Go away. Get down. Go on, then. Why, certainly not, officer.
I suppose you'll be telling me next. It was the dog that was whistling, eh?
I'm certain I don't know.
Oh.
The filmmakers use close-up shot of Lady and the Tramp's faces, focusing on their expressions as they gaze into each other. The framing creates a sense of intimacy, allowing the audience to feel to be part of the tender moment. The camera also often cuts between their faces and the spaghetti plate, drawing attention to their growing connection. Now, during the early 1950s, Disney was making some excellent animated features with Alice in Wonderland and Peter Pan. Lady and the Tramp followed those films and proved to be another great film for the studio. After the very large and fantasy-oriented feel of those two films, Lady and the Tramp moved towards a much more grounded style, with the which benefits the film as well as Disney's output by adding a little more variety to their work at the time. Now, regarding the songs mentioned earlier, the song sung at the lovers' romantic Italian dinner really brings a tear to my eye.
Now, first we fix the table.
Here's your buns, Tony.
Okay, buongiorno.
But today, we're not just going to be reminiscing about the scene, we are going to be recreating it with some authentic Italian cooking. And lucky for us, we have the best expert at the job. Let us see how Chef Ali Yusuf recreates the iconic dish from the Lady and the Tramp film.
Hey everyone, I'm Chef Ali Yusuf once again, and today we're going to make spaghetti and meatballs, exactly at the scene in The Lady and the Tramp film at Tony's restaurant. To begin with, let me introduce you to our ingredients. It looks fancy. Then we have minced beef, we've got chopped carrot. I've got everything ready because just we need to get everything done quickly. Breadcrumbs being baked and crushed. And then we have chopped onion, Parmesan cheese that you need it till the end, and then salt and pepper, cinnamon powder, and then you've got virgin olive oil, tomato paste, and celery, bit of milk and water. You may need water. First step, going to put the breadcrumbs in a bowl, and going to add the milk. Leave it there for 20 minutes, let's say 10 to 15 minutes. Let it soak and observe all the milk in there. Meanwhile, we turn this on to preheat the pan. There, almost there. And then we're going to add the minced beef, followed by the cinnamon, the black pepper, a bit of sea salt. Now we're going to mix everything together by hand. So follow the recipe so to get a proper dish. Only a few things you can add optional, which is make sure it won't hurt your the final dish. It's okay if you want to add some spices, like you want to make it spicy, or you want to add some herbs like coriander, parsley, or thyme, or oregano, whatever makes you happy. But that's not the original recipe. This is the original recipe. Minced beef is ready. Then need to make balls. Or maybe you want measurement. You can use a scale or something, or scooper, so you can get proper sizes. I mean, one size. We'll set it aside. Let me change my gloves, and then we continue. Now we're back. Now we're going to put olive oil, start with. So then we're going to start with onions. Make sure you don't brown everything. You don't need to. Optional, if you want to put garlic also, you can go ahead. Not in the original recipe, once again. Then followed by the carrots, followed by the celery, bit of seasoning, salt and pepper, now we're going to add the tomato paste. We call it passata. For the thickness, you don't really need to add a lot of water. I just put the water here inside. It's just an option. Might lead it a little bit, so to get sauce more watery. That's how I like it. You can add more water, depends on how thick you need the sauce. So actually you need to put a little bit more water. Why? Because we're gonna leave it to cook on a slow, because you need to cook it all the way through in. And while that happening, it might get dry. The sauce might get dry. So therefore, we're going to add a bit more of water. Let's bring this to boil, and then we're going to add the meatballs. My sauce is ready. I'm gonna reduce the heat a little bit, and then we're going to add the meatballs in there. Once again, I'm going to reduce the heat. You don't want to burn anything here. We slow cook it and enjoy our cooking. While that's happening in a low heat, I'm going to go and get my spaghetti boiled in a salty water and get back to you. Look at that beautiful color. It smells really, really good actually. Now it's ready. I've got my pastas ready too. Now we're going to plate it. That looks really, really nice. Let me turn that off too. Wow. This really looks good. Bit of sauce. Make people happy. And let's make it looks beautiful. Bit of Parmesan cheese and bit of chopped parsley, give it a bit color, and there we go. This is your spaghetti. Now you have this amazing dish ready, so simple yet so perfect. So we've got classic plate of spaghetti with big juicy meatballs on top. And only those who watch Lady and Trump will know the secret that makes this spaghetti is that special.
Welcome back. Here we have the spaghetti and meatballs. The sauce looks so rich and so flavorful. The meatballs look perfectly seasoned. It's like a hug on a plate, and I honestly can't wait to try it. So let's.
Neither can I. Can we hug this plate actually? Or...
I don't think it's physically possible.
I mean, I'm wearing black, so how badly is it gonna stain, right?
Let's give it a try.
But tell me, do you eat your spaghetti with just a fork or fork and a knife?
A fork.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Good. Right answer.
That's psychopath behavior, by the way. If you eat it with a knife.
You know what? I love that. You can just cut right through the meatball.
Yeah.
Okay. See? So, and here we go. I quite like this.
There's just like a blend of flavors, and it all just balances out so well.
I think for something like this, it would be very easy to cook meatballs dry.
Yeah.
But I think they're perfectly juicy. They're very well seasoned.
Yes.
And they do definitely hit the spot. Like this would be a really cool dish to eat on a cold day, and it'll just warm up your tummy.
It is perfect. Yes. Like I completely understand why they would fall in love over this shared spaghetti and meatballs. It's like it's very Italian as well. Like I don't know. It's just I've never seen a dish this Italian.
I mean, I'm falling in love with it right now.
Yeah, me too.
And it is a very iconic dish, as it is, right?
Yeah, for the film itself. And it created like a whole new genre of like, you know, I don't know if you've noticed this, but I've noticed it with a lot of other movies. I feel like Lady and the Tramp kind of inspired many different Hollywood films to go with the same like idea, where it's like, you know, two characters meet up at a restaurant and kind of bond over food. I've seen that, I think. Can you give me an example? I feel like I've seen it before, but I just I can't recall. But it inspired so many films, and that shows you how important it was to cinema, The Lady and the Tramp.
I mean, that happens in a lot of films. Off the top of my head, I'm going to say When Harry Met Sally, where they meet at the deli over like a Reuben sandwich and, and connect with one another. But yeah,
there are a lot of meet cutes in rom-com history that have been inspired by Lady and the Tramp.
Oh, absolutely.
So I think we should applaud Lady and the Tramp for that, because it just created so many cool new scenes, so many cool new movies, so many cool new movie ideas. So it was nice seeing that, you know?
And you could say that Walt Disney is a maverick in that sense, right?
Yes.
Because he was the forefront of a lot of things, whether it's in his films and his theme parks. He is a true innovator in every sense of the word.
He is.
If we're going to talk about how we used Lady and the Tramp to revolutionize the industry, think about how many movies came before Lady and the Tramp that had these anamorphic animals talking.
Snow White.
That didn't have the animals were not talking Snow White though.
Good point.
But if you look at the movies that are released today, almost all of them exclusively featured those kind of animals.
Yes.
So with something like Lady and the Tramp, as well as different technology that he utilized, like rotoscoping, multi-layered cameras and whatnot, he was able to leave a lasting impact.
He did. And like with his imagination, he was able to create a world where animals were able to speak and express their thoughts and feelings. Especially with Lady and the Tramp, a movie like that, it needed a lot of expression, and the whole movie the point of it was to just evoke emotion and to kind of give us a sense that we were there with them, experiencing what they're experiencing. So it was kind of cool to see that expressed in words, you know, not just facial expressions.
You know, I want to paraphrase the line that he said during the opening ceremony of Disneyland, where he said, "Today you leave the world of today and enter the world of yesterday, tomorrow, and fantasy." With fantasy being a very big part of that. And that is what he wanted with different mediums that he went through. He wants people to live these fantasies, especially with Lady and the Tramp. And yes, it is a more grounded film, but it does connect with that fantastical element of all our childhood.
Yes, it does. And I mean, from The Lady and the Tramp, you can see how much it evolved. And like, as I said earlier, from my point from earlier was that it has inspired so many generations of like good romantic comedies. And I just think that's such a beautiful way of kind of introducing that idea to us, you know, through dogs. It was a really fun way of expressing that. And I think Walt Disney's imagination was just, he didn't know the effect that this movie was going to have on people.
It's alive in all of us.
It is.
You know, Zain, you brought this up earlier on, but it begs to be repeated, that I can honestly see why Lady and Tramp would fall in love with one another over this beautiful dish of spaghetti and meatballs.
Exactly. I mean, this the food in this scene is more than just nourishment. It is a symbol of love and compassion, and the magical moment when you share something so simple but so meaningful with someone. And I have to admit that this plate of spaghetti is a part, it just brings us simple joy.
And it's not just about the food, it's about the connection. The meal brings them together in this incredibly sweet, funny, and authentic way.
Darling.
Like always, thank you, Chef Ali, for creating this wonderful and tasty dish.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Chef Ali, for this. And film fans, remember, whether you're sharing a meal with a loved one or just enjoying it with good company, there's always magic in a great plate of spaghetti. See you next time with another movie and another dish.